So actually, I had this thought, and I wanted to explore the space just as a raw, real rant. No script, nothing like that. But we Vikings fans, we are used to national media not giving us any respect, opponents not giving us any respect because of hashtag history and everything that goes into that. Are we tired of it, or do we secretly love it, or do we secretly love always being the underdogs? And you know what? If things turn out great. I mean, it's a free roll. It's a surprise. And if things don't turn out, well, I mean, what do you expect? Are the Vikings? And yeah, I thought about it with myself and like the fan base as a whole. I do enjoy being the underdog, having the chip on the shoulder, having the no one believed in us, and being able to play that card, whether real or imagined. I enjoy that. Like even during the '09 season, during the '98 Viking season, 2017, when the Vikings were hot, everyone was all hyped up about the Vikings. It was still like, Joe Blow from the Toledo descriptor newspaper. That's not a paper. He doesn't believe in us. And frankly, just look at the organization where you have Mike Zimmer, where you had a guy who deserved a head coaching job, many years before he got one, at the age of 62 or something like that, something ridiculous like that. With Zimmer is that he loves playing that underdog, no one believed in us, no one respects us card on the team, because what happens with Zimmer is that the Vikings could reel off 7 straight Super Bowl wins. Hoist that Jerome Barty 7 times. Kirk Cousins Tommy, got one more than you, buddy. There you go, Michigan represent. But Zimmer in year 8 would still come into the locker room, just like all of his Super Bowl rings dangling from a chain. He got the suggestion from his buddy Deion Sanders, and he's like, there's 8 billion people on the planet. There are 3 people in Papua New Guinea, in an undiscovered tribe, who don't believe in you. Then the Vikings be like, oh, yeah, mother. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you look at Kirk Cousins, a guy who's continually been that slappy, been the but still quarterback in this league, and rightfully so. Rick Spielman's been the GM that's been lambasted as he's the guy that can build this amazing roster, except he can never get the quarterback position right. Like Teddy's leg fell off. The Bradford trade was a bust because his legs fell off, and then he signs Kirk Cousins. Traitor Rick, more like it, that whole thing. And I don't know, I feel like given the history of this team, and you look across other sports, and I guess the Chicago Cubs would be the most applicable before they peeled off that last World Series, where, I mean, that was their identity, except a little bit different because they were the lovable losers. They were expected to lose, and no one really cared because you're just getting blasted off old style out on the bleachers. Like, who really cares? It's a way to kill an afternoon. Where, I mean, the Vikings, even in the sport of football, it's a lot different than people see the Browns, because people are like, oh, poor Browns, that whole thing. Or the Lions. I mean, frankly, the Lions as well. Whereas the Vikings, they get your hopes all the way up, and then they kick you in the nuts. That whole thing. So, I mean, maybe the reputation for being underachievers in big-time games, not getting it done in the big one, that's deserved. And as a fan, I am... Well, here's what I like. I like the disrespect from the national media as well as other fan bases, but also like complaining about the lack of respect from the national media and other fan bases, because as a content creator, it is so easy to get the fan base riled up, get our viewers riled up. It's like ESPN, 99% of the analysts pick the Saints to win. Like even Randy Moss, oh, come on, Randy. Come on, man. You just kicked us right in the heart. I mean, what is going on? Can't even pick the Vikings on the road? Please. Child, please. Or even now, it's like all the national pundits, everyone is hedging the bets. It's like, well, the Vikings, that was a fluke win, but the Niners are the 1 seed. They're going to take care of business, and they're 7.5-point favorites for a reason. Like that whole thing. I love playing that card. And even when they get to the NFC title game against Green Bay, they'll be like, well, Aaron Rodgers will never lose at home in the playoffs against a division rival, and Aaron Rodgers, that second Super Bowl, will cement his legacy, and blah, blah, blah. And then the Vikings beat the shit out of number 12 and the 12-year-old boy and send him packing, have people longing for the good old days of Mike McCarthy, who's down in Dallas now. Yeah, Mike McCarthy, the kid from Up. Yeah. And then you get to the Super Bowl, it's like, well, It's the Ravens. It's the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, the NFL MVP. How is the Vikings defense going to stop a running quarterback? Mike Zimmer has never seen a running quarterback in his day since he started coaching in 1945 against Army and then the triple veer option or whatever. Yeah, that whole thing. And then after the Vikings win the Super Bowl, it's like, well, they can't repeat. And the Vikings, I mean, you're 1-4 in Super Bowls. That's a loser batting average. Like, that's okay. Because I actually don't like when this team is getting respect. I don't like it. I am one of those fans where, like, when the national media, when the NFL Network, when the ESPNs of the world are talking good about our team, it's just like, no, I don't like that. So, I mean, as a fan, I'm kind of bugged by the disrespect, but then again, I like using it as a weapon, using it as motivation. Yeah, I feel like this team is built uniquely under Zimmer to use that as fuel as well. But what are your thoughts? No respect at all. Let us know in the comment section below. Also, subscribe for daily Vikings takes, plus new channel membership tiers. Find out how to become a monthly Jerome or platinum Jerome by clicking that join button, bottom right of the screen. There you go on the YouTube, as well as give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skull, production value.